When you do audiobooks, you need headphones. And why do you need headphones? Because you have to hear all the imperfections. You have to hear the problems. You have to know if your levels are too high. All of this is necessary. You have to have it under almost a microscope. So you have to have a good set of headphones. I use studio monitor headphones, and what amazes me is I think the computer speakers nowadays have whatever technology they're using, audio sounds really good through my computer speakers, but when I put on my headphones, suddenly all the imperfections come out. So you want to create sound. You want to create sound that's going to work on every conceivable way people are listening. So if they're in the car speakers, but if somebody has a high-end set of headphones, you do not want to disappoint them. So headphones are important for the narrator, but especially, of course, in post-production. There's also something called a pop filter or pop screen, and that diminishes the chance that you're going to blow out the mic with something like a P. Now, this mic I have, I think, has some kind of built-in electronics because I never seem to have the problems with this mic, which is called a Revelator. But the pop filter necessary to keep your audio as clean as possible and make less work for the editor who has to try to correct that stuff later on. Software. Software has, there's every range of prices with software. Some is very expensive. There's moderate, free. I recommend for a first-time narrator that use the free software. There's a program called Audacity that's free, and it's open source, really amazing software in terms of the effectiveness of the recording, but also the various effects and repair plugins. It's really good software, Audacity. And there are two ways to record as a narrator. You can do what's called roll record, which is the easiest, where you just record, let it roll. You have to do a retake. You do a retake, you clap. People clap between retakes so that the editor sees a spike in the waveform. Some people use a animal training clicker, but basically you let it roll, you read, you make a mistake, you start from the beginning of the sentence or a natural pause, and then you move on. And that's an easy way of doing things. Now we move on to you as a narrator. So we went through the room, we went through the microphones, went through the software possibilities, and now we're getting to you, the author, the person who's going to be doing this. Now, mouth noise. That's number one with post-production people. Mouth noise is very important to try to reduce it as much as possible. Now, as the bleeding edge of Gen X, I need to hydrate a lot more than I used to. Hydrating for recording, you have to start well in advance. So you have to work on lubricating your your mouth, your vocal cords, your tonsils, whatever it is. And you have to drink a lot of water, or drink. You can also, there are people who say eat sour apples, I've heard, but there's all kinds of tricks out there for how to reduce mouth noise. The final and most important part of this, and I didn't add the cat to this visual. The cat was added by the AI. But the most important part of an author reading their book is commitment to a schedule. Working on an audiobook is a very time-consuming process, and it's going to take, there's a learning curve, so it's going to take a lot longer in the beginning. But it also, no matter how much of an expert you are, you're going to need to make a schedule and set goals and try to reach those goals. And in audio books, the standard is a finished hour of audio. So how long of your reading will it take to make 1 hour of finished audio? So you might be recording for 4 hours, and that only amounts to 1 hour of finished audio. So let's say that's your ratio. You're a 4-to-1 ratio. Now, professionals are going to be less. But if you're a 4-to-1 ratio and you're doing with a 10-hour book, that's 40 hours that you have to devote to recording. And you can't do that all in 1 week. You have to divide it up into chunks. People's voices get tired. And so this part is the part I can't control. That is up to the author. You as the author have to commit to doing this and make a schedule and understand that this is going to be the hardest part, is sticking to it. And I listen to people, celebrities, people who have spoken about recording their audiobooks, and I have never heard one talk about, oh, that was easy. Oh my God, it was incredible. It was so easy. It's never easy. It's a difficult process for everyone, for the professional, especially for someone who isn't a professional. And on my end, as post-production, I have to put in the hours. It's a lengthy process. I work full days, 5 to 6 days a week. And that is a very important part, is just sticking to it and making sure that it gets done. You get the point. Make a schedule and stick to it. And if you do all those things, if you get a room, get it set up correctly, choose your mic, learn the basics of your software, and that is something I would do with the author. All of this is stuff I would work with the author to accomplish. If you do all of that, you will then turn your audio to the editor. I forgot about this slide. Okay, so once you finish your audio, I get it, the editor. And I go through the audio and edit it to perfection. I'm going to format it according to the specs of most all audio publishing companies, and there's certain kinds of spacing they like, etc. Levels need to be a certain level for it to be accepted. The audiobook editor is going to be proofing the sound against the script. So what I do is I listen, I edit, I also make corrections. There are pronunciation errors. There are mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes and inconsistency between the sound and the text. Forgotten paragraphs, forgotten sentences, noise that interferes, but a pickup report is created. I also run the audio through a digital proofing system so that anything that I missed will be picked up by the digital system. And basically you'll get, as the author, you'll get a report of all inconsistencies. And because this is author narration, you can make a decision. Is it okay? Is it not okay? Do I like it? Do I not like it? Once those corrections are made and recorded, they're inserted into the final audio, and then you get to go through the audio again for a final pass to make sure everything is the way you want it to be. And any corrections after that will be inserted. Now, the audio is mastered, which means the audio that's already sounding good, because we already got the room and we got the mic and we got the hydration and all that in order. Once that is finished, then there's the mastering, and the mastering brings everything up to another level of perfection. So the sound will be improved, the levels will be perfected, and then your audiobook is finished. We gave it a finish, and it's finished. So that is what I wanted to share, the process of creating an audiobook and seeing it through to the end, because it's a very challenging process, making an audiobook. It is not easy. And when I was talking to my sisters about doing this presentation, I said, I'm going to tell them that it's hard. I'm going to tell them this is hard work. This is, I say, it's the hard labor of the entertainment industry. This is no joke. And she said, don't tell them that, discourage them. And I was like, no, I feel that when you enter this process, you have to know what you're facing, because you know we're going to get there. We're going to get to the end. We're going to get it right. It's going to be finished, but it's going to take some commitment. And I think an author who has written a book has spent a lot of time getting that book done. I know people who are writing books, and it's a very intense process that takes quite a while. So if you can get through writing your book, you can get through narrating your book and creating your own audiobook. So thank you for joining me. As I said, this is a great thing to do as an author because your book will be distributed in a different form to a different audience, to people through platforms that simply distribute the work and people just find it through their love of audiobooks and wanting to find more and more of that particular genre, whatever it is that they're interested in. So if you have any questions or you'd like to contact me, please do at my website, audiobookeditors.com, and we'll get your audiobook finished. Thank you.